Hi everyone, I'm Lauren and I'm back again with another video, and today I'm continuing on with my top 50 games of all time. This is part 3, and so I'll be going over the numbers 30 through 21. If you haven't seen the other two parts, I'll try to remember to link them and all that stuff, so you can check those out if you like. One other thing to note is that it's been a long time since I played most of the games on this section of the list, so forgive me if I'm a little vague on some of the details and all that stuff. I didn't exactly write good notes or anything when I originally played these. So, with that out of the way, let's get on to the list. Number 30, Ziggurat. So, this is a game that I don't really hear people talk about a whole lot, but it's a really fast action like first-person shooter roguelike with magic. It's something that feels very Doom-inspired in the way that it plays with the magic and stuff that you get, but it's definitely very, very different. In this one you get various procedurally generated rooms that you have to make your way through. Some of them have various effects, which can either benefit you, hinder you, or I think sometimes it's just like, this is a weird, different effect that is strange. And then as you murder enemies and make your way through the, I don't know if it's a dungeon or a tower or what this is, but as you make your way through the game, you level up and you can pick certain perks. It's just one of those really fun games to go around and murdering stuff. You know, kind of how I feel with like Doom or something like that. It's just kind of fun going through, oh, pew 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 pew. And I haven't even played more than just the base character. There's a whole bunch of other characters in the game that change up the play style of how like your various spells work or whatever. They seem like they would really change up the gameplay as well. So I really need to get back to this at some point and play those other characters and stuff. There's also a sequel to this game that came out, I believe, it was either early this year or sometime last year, and I also really, really want to play that as well. Number 29, Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash. This is one that is definitely within my anime weird taste, because it's definitely, I mean, it's like a Senran Kagura, so it's the usual kind of fan service, very, very fan service and lewd, silly, goofy stuff. I mean, not that I've actually played any of the other Senran Kagura games, but I mean, I've seen a lot of the media and stuff like that, so I know how crazy those get, and this is the same kind of thing there, but this is different than the mainline entries in the series, and then it's kind of this arena shooter? I don't know if that's the best way to describe it, but you're in like a arena and you have water guns instead of like regular guns, and you shoot them at your opponents, and you're trying to get the most amount of kills, quote unquote, and whoever has the most wins type of thing. It's just really silly. It's not really the most polished type of thing, but it works well enough that it's just fun going around the various arenas, and you have various different types of water guns to use. You also have a few card abilities that you can set, and you get these throughout playing the game, the single player game, and you can get currency to buy card packs in the shop as well, so that can increase your arsenal and all that stuff. And I don't know, it's just really fun. And I haven't played multiplayer, so it's fun even just with the single player modes and just playing against the bots and such. Which is good, because I highly doubt the multiplayer is still active. Just because, I don't know when this released, but it's not a new game. Still though, I really enjoy this, and I even got the platinum for this as well. It wasn't too bad actually. So yeah, really enjoyed this a lot. Number 28, Yakuza 3. So it's kind of hard to talk about this because I don't want to give too much away, or maybe future entries on the list perhaps. But I played a bunch of the Yakuza games, unfortunately not as many as I would have liked because I got stuck on one of them, but that's for another time. And Yakuza 3 is most certainly the weakest of the ones that I've played so far. It still has some enjoyable action, brawly Yakuza normal gameplay, and like that's still fun, and there's a bunch of side quests that are the normal goofy and silly, and again, really fun. But the reason for me this is the weakest one is it's just really the pacing of the story is kind of all over the place, and I don't really remember all that much that happened here versus some of the other entries that I've played. So while like it sounds like I'm doing a lot of poo-pooing on this game, but it's just when Yakuza is really good, it's like really, really good. And this one is good too, it's just not as good. It's definitely not, I wouldn't say it's mediocre or anything like that. Like I really enjoyed my time. So even though it sounds like I'm being negative and stuff, I really enjoyed it. It's just not as much as the other Yakuza games. So yeah, we'll see when those other ones come around, huh? Number 27, Muramasa Rebirth. So this one is probably one of the biggest selling points for Vita. I don't know if Muramasa Rebirth came out on it on like Steam or anything like that. It's just a really fun, action-y, I guess it's an RPG? Been a while since I played it. And it looks absolutely gorgeous. And it's just fun going around, killing all these yokai, and I don't know how to explain this kind of thing. It's just, it looks amazing, and I'm not very good about explaining mechanics from a game I played a long while ago. I definitely want to give this another go at some point, especially to have a better way to describe it and such. But also there's two routes in this game, and I only played one of them, so it'd be nice to play the other one. As well, there are some DLC for this game that apparently are very good as well. So a lot of things to look forward to here. Really, all I can say is I really enjoyed it, and man, the art is amazing. Number 26, Ys Books 1 and 2 Chronicles Plus. So these are the first two Ys games in the series, although you can kind of count them as one because the second one continues right after the first. So yeah, whatever, that's why I'm including them as one entry here. So yeah, this is kind of where it began. Asterisks, I'm specifically putting the remake version that is currently on Steam. This is a pretty simple action RPG. This has the bump combat that I feel like older Ys games are famous/infamous for. You just kind of run to the enemies, and if they are in the right position, then they would die, kind of thing. It's really silly and stuff, but it's really smooth in this remake. It looks great, it sounds great. There's not really much of a story here, I feel like, or at least it's not told in a way that my brain interprets it as much of a story, so, but it's an based off older game, so, you know, I'll give that a pass and all that. And it's just really fun to go through the various, I don't know if I can call them dungeons or not, but you go through various places and solve puzzles and things and defeat enemies as various bosses and stuff. And it's just really fast-paced and fun. And it's also not a very long game. It's a well-paced game. It doesn't stay longer than it should, which is something that I have a problem with many RPGs. Like they overstay their welcome and have a lot of bloat to just increase the game time. But not this. It's perfect length and stuff. So I really suggest giving it a shot. It's on Steam. I believe it goes on sale quite a lot as well, so bonus there. Number 25, Faroon. So it's really funny, this placement of Faroon on the list. It wasn't intentional, but this is a indie game that is heavily inspired by Ys Books 1 and 2. Or at least that's the impression I'm getting from it, because it's a similar kind of simple action RPG with bump combat. And the main character here even has the same red color scheme that Adol does in the Ys games, so I feel like there's at least a little bit of inspiration there. So it's kind of like a similar type of take, except obviously it's different puzzles and enemies and all that stuff. And it's just the more modern take of it, maybe a little bit more streamlined than if you played the original Ys books 1 and 2, but it's just really nice. Again, this is another one that is the perfect length, not a whole bunch of filler and stuff to pad out the game time, and I really appreciate that in a game. So yeah, it's really simple, it's nice and breezy, and a whole lot of fun. Number 24, Super Mario Odyssey. This is my favorite Mario game, at least currently, but this one is just a really bright and colorful, cheerful, fun, and I really like the open world here. It's I feel like it's done in a really good way of there's not a huge amount of just empty stuff just to make the world bigger. I feel like it does a lot to really encourage you to explore and try things out. It's easy for me, who is bad at platformers, to do, so yay. Number 23, Skyrim. So this is the only Elder Scrolls game that I played and beaten. I know a lot of people really like Oblivion and there's other ones and whatnot, but yes, Skyrim is on my list. I do really like it. I think a lot of you know what it is, like the open world action RPG with the Dova King dragon shouts and loot all the stuff, and it's just a lot of little nooks and crannies and things and places to explore that are really cool. I really enjoy a lot of the various dungeon cavey areas that you go into, and I like sneaking and sniping. It's just way too fun. The story I find is pretty it's mediocre, and like I'm glad I beat the storyline just so I could see what the storyline is, but it's not really that interesting. But if you remove that, just there's so much stuff that I really enjoy doing in here, all the quests and stuff. And I really like the DLC for the, I believe it's called the Homestead thing. You get your own house. Yes. Build your house. Yes. And decorate it and stuff. That's kind of one thing I really like. Number 22, Forager. So this is one that's a little hard to explain as well, because it's been a long time since I played it, but it is it really fits with that, in that area of cute, crafty, explory, level things up, gathering. Like, I like those things when it's done well and it's not tedious. Like, I know a lot of people complain about gathering and crafting and stuff, but I totally understand that, because I feel like a lot of times we just gotta add crafting and gathering and stuff, and so it's kind of thrown in, but that's kind of the main part of Forager, and I feel like they built around those mechanics really well in a nice, simple, and quick and easy type of way. In this one, you're also unlocking islands to explore, and I just really like that aspect, watching you start with like one island and you expand out, and it's just really my jam. Another one that I really need to replay. And finally for this video, number 21, Little Witch Romanesque. So this one is I feel like it's a pretty obscure visual novel that centers around these two apprentice witches, and they're trying to become full-fledged witches. As well, to break up the visual novel gameplay, visual novel reading, there is this dice minigame, and it's kind of how you get them to cast various spells, and I don't remember how exactly you determine which spells you want to cast, but I guess it's kind of like a Yahtzee type system where you're trying to get certain combinations and all that kind of thing. And it's really neat. I don't know, it's interesting how it plays out. And also, the art is amazing. It's gorgeous, and I love it. It can get a little bit lewd at sometimes though, so watch out for that if that is really not your thing. But I overall just found it a really sweet story, growing up and accepting yourself and confidence and all that kind of thing. It has a nice wide cast of characters that I also really enjoy, and so yeah, overall it's a visual novel that I really love. I don't know how that one turned out. Hopefully it's okay and I didn't explain everything terribly. Haha. But those are my top 50 games, numbers 30 to 21. Let me know if you played any of these games and, your thoughts and all that. And also let me know what are some of your favorite games of all time. I'd also love to hear that in the comments below. Anyway, look forward to the next video. Hopefully it takes less time this time. It's taking me so long. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again in another video. Bye!